Hey y'all, welcome to Melanin and Meditations. Today's music is provided by Yoni Charis. Go follow him for some Christian lo-fi. Study, work, focus, peace, chill, productivity, sleep, stress relief music. So y'all want to know what's being said about Melanin and Meditations? Okay, well, please listen to the following podcast. As always, don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment of our shared experience. Yeah. Catch you later, La Familia.
Everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
All right, awesome. So today we're looking at melanin and meditations.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, right. And just based on these excerpts, this promotional material we have, it seems like they're really doing something different, combining like cultural identity, wellness, and spirituality all together.
I like that. I like the sound like that.
Yeah, super interesting. So I think our mission today is to kind of like unpack that a bit,
Okay.
see how all of that comes together, and then also think about what that could offer, to our listeners who are
Right.
trying to, find themselves be a little bit more mindful in their lives. So where do you even want to begin with something like this? What stood out to you at first?
Well, first of all, I love the name Melanin and Meditations.
Yeah.
It kind of like grabs you. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's very visual.
It is, yeah.
And I think that this is definitely creating a space for people of color.
Okay.
Specifically, it's not just the name. It's the whole idea of connecting meditation and reflection with your own cultural heritage.
Yeah, that definitely seemed to set them apart from a lot of the other,
Right.
meditation apps and stuff that you see out there, which tend to be
Very generic.
very generic. And they even say, in this material that it's supposed to be empowering
Yes.
to kind of weave together your cultural identity with these practices.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think that works? How does that make it more empowering?
Well, a lot of like traditional approaches to meditation and mindfulness
Right.
come from Eastern traditions, which can be valuable. But, I think what Melanin and Meditations is getting at is
Yeah.
that your own background, your own cultural, even your own spiritual heritage can be just as powerful
Okay.
of a source for personal growth. So it's like taking ownership of your own path.
Oh, okay. I like that. So what is it that they're actually offering here? What are the practices that they're...
Well, it seems like their core offering
Yeah.
are guided meditations.
Okay.
And they are supposed to lead to relaxation, rejuvenation. They talk about finding balance and tranquility.
That sounds pretty good right now.
Doesn't it, though?
Yep. I could use a little bit of all that.
We could all use a little bit of that, especially nowadays.
For sure. Especially nowadays.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I thought was interesting, and maybe you can shed a little more light on this,
Mm-hmm.
is they talk about incorporating scripture into these practices,
Right.
which you don't typically see
You don't usually see that, yeah.
with mindfulness. So how do you think that works?
Well, they seem to be saying that scripture is a way to kind of like deepen your spiritual connection.
Okay.
During meditation, like maybe they would use a passage about peace,
Uh-huh.
in the middle of chaos.
Oh, okay.
And use that as a focal point for a guided meditation session.
So it's not just about like emptying your mind.
No.
It's about using these words as a way to kind of connect with something
Connect with something. Yeah, exactly.
bigger than yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then they also talk about, there's so much diversity and resilience within, Christian communities.
Yes.
Right. So how do they kind of tap into that?
So what Melanin and Meditations seems to be doing is they're saying, discover the unique wisdom and practices
Okay.
that are found within different Christian communities,
Okay.
particularly those that are rooted in African and African American traditions.
Oh, interesting.
So they might explore like spirituals or
Mhm.
even oral storytelling. They might even use rhythms and music from these cultures
Wow.
in their meditations.
So it's really about adapting these practices to
Absolutely.
your own heritage.
It doesn't have to look the same for everybody,
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. And they talk about a lot more than just meditation techniques, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they mention holistic wellness.
Yes.
So what do they mean by that?
Well, it's looking at the whole picture. It means your mental health, your physical well-being, your spiritual growth.
So it's not just about like a quick fix.
No.
It's about really like living a more fulfilling life.
Absolutely. It's a lifestyle.
Lifestyle. Okay. What about the community aspect? because we talk about that too,
Yes.
and the importance of support.
Oh, they really emphasize the importance of community.
Okay.
Like they're saying you'll have a supportive network to guide you, to answer questions, to share experiences with you.
So even if you're new to all of this, you're not alone.
You're not alone, exactly.
Okay, cool. And there's that quote by Tomi Ariomi. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a really powerful one. It was something about, like, man being God's technology.
Yes. He said, man is God's technology to fulfilling God's purpose in the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Without man, God will not. Without God, man cannot.
Ooh, that's a lot. So how do we even unpack that? What does that mean?
I think he's speaking to the potential within each of us.
Okay.
You know, it'd be saying we all have a role to play.
Uh-huh.
That by really connecting with our own spirituality, our purpose,
Yeah.
we can achieve amazing things.
Wow. Okay, so it sounds like Melanin and Meditations is really offering a very unique path
It really is.
towards mindfulness and well-being.
Yes.
It's about, embracing your cultural identity, using that as a source of strength
Absolutely.
for your own personal journey.
And, it lets you wonder, how could exploring your own cultural heritage
Yeah.
enhance your own personal journey?
That's a good question.
What kind of wisdom and practices might you discover that really speak to you?
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely something to think about. And, if any of this resonates with you guys listening,
Yeah.
I encourage you to check out Melanin and Meditations for yourselves.
That's great advice. Awesome. Well, thanks for diving into this with me.
Of course, happy to be here.
And to everyone listening, until next time, keep exploring.
Yeah, keep learning.
All right, see you later.
Bye.